Hi. So I just wanted to pop on here, feeling very inspired once again, just coming back around another layer of ecopsychology, and inspired by Andy Fisher's book, Radical Ecopsychology. So good. And if you work in the mental health field, mental health care field in any way, or you are a human on this planet interested in emotional and mental health, I recommend this book, and Andy Fisher's work in general. But I just wanted to touch on one particular focal point of that today, which is this framework of mental health oppression, mental oppression, or mental health care oppression. And, you know, this could be thought of as the tradition of medicalized mental health care, at least in the United States, where I am from, has been, because of its basis, its foundation in pathology, or, the study of disease, that if any person seeks mental health care or requires mental health care or is interested in that, then there is a general oppression around that because you are thought of as unstable or mad or, falling under the category of disease because it's based in pathology. So you would only need that kind of care if you are, operating from a place of disease as opposed to ease or wellness. So for many reasons, this foundation of mental wellness is unhelpful. It's just a framework, positive psychology is another framework. And then there's room for everything. But we can consider the larger context of the culture of which this particular piece of healthcare comes from, which is Eurocentric. And, this keeps people from seeking help. It keeps people from really truly healing from trauma sometimes, because if you are helped by identifying with a diagnosis, then you should get a diagnosis and you can relate to that in a way that feels helpful to you. To be told you must relate to a diagnosis in a certain way is an example of that oppression, because for some people, identifying with a certain diagnosis could be harmful, actually. And if somebody doesn't know, that they actually could have choice in that, do I identify with an anxiety disorder, or do I identify with being really in touch with the planet Earth and what's happening right now? So that's an example of how this shows up for me. And so just acknowledging this piece that we really need to integrate into the next iteration of the mental health care system. And once again, I acknowledge we live within this medicalized system. It's not going anywhere. And everything is meant to evolve. Or it's going to, whether it's meant to or not. Things change. That's the constant, right? So, there's a place and a time for some things, and that the part of the healing journey for us as individuals, communities, and the collective is to have choice, and for us to be at choice moving forward, knowing that we do have options. What are those options? Okay, I'm identifying with this thing more or less. Does that feel like a choice? It's okay to get help if you need help. And that's one of the beautiful silver linings of COVID, is that it's helped many people realize it is okay. It's brought to the surface mental health conversations that perhaps weren't before. And so, yeah, I just wanted to name that. And I think sometimes it is good to have like a particular framework. And, maybe this is really obvious to some people, but coming from this sex positive psychedelic background, I just understand operating on the margins of mental health care, even like above ground in a way. And, considering this feminist point of view too, or like traditionally like feminists, where we're transparent, like how can we practice transparency so that that power dynamic that could be reinforced, like a practitioner client, there's an inherent power dynamic there. How can we explicitly address that to optimize healing spaces and understand that that power dynamic is happening within this history context of mental health oppression? And that's our responsibility as mental health care practitioners, facilitators, whatever, guides, to have awareness around that so that we're not reinforcing unnecessary power dynamics for considering holistic health. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having a sweet moment. Thank you for taking this moment to just slow down, and if that feels okay, or speed up if that feels better, but just to listen to your body for a moment, and do what feels helpful around that. So yeah, until next time, take care.